Adding to the already exciting 2025 so far of releases, we saw a bunch of new ETFs being announced and now available for trading on April 30th. For Global X, they actually released a total of 11 new ETFs, ranging from index ETFs, cover call ETFs, and then leverage cover call ETFs. For this video though, we'll focus on just the 2 new Bitcoin ones. Then with Harvest ETFs, they also released 2 new leveraged Bitcoin ETFs. Prior to this announcement, there was only one option available for passive income investors to invest in Bitcoin and also receive a yield. But now, these new ones help fill in some of the gaps and bring us some more exciting options to those who are seeking and prioritizing income first. Before we get into the new ETFs, if you enjoy this type of content and want help with the channel, feel free to subscribe to stay up to date on the latest releases. There are some new spreadsheets I've been working on recently, and you'll get to see what it is towards the end of the video. So let's get into each of these new releases and see how they compare to what is currently available. Starting with Global X, the way they've organized these is similar to what they've done with all the rest of their other lineups. For the covered call ones, they all end in the letters CC, and the enhanced or leveraged ones end in CL. Both of these also include a .U version that trades in USD under the ticker symbols BCCC.U and BCCL.U. All of these don't invest in Bitcoin directly, but instead hold a Bitcoin ETF as their underlying. And the one they've chosen to go with is the iShares Bitcoin ETF, or the ticker IBIT. Because all of these ETFs are going to be unhedged, it means that they'll be using the USD version of IBIT. Global X on their socials have also made a claim that these 2 new ETFs are actually a first of its kind in Canada. And what makes them unique is that they're actually going to have semi-monthly distributions, meaning that they will have dividends paid out every 2 weeks. So maybe this launch is the first step towards us in Canada to start having products with weekly distributions coming in the near future. But because volatility changes from week to week and they are paying semi-monthly, these distributions are expected to fluctuate, so just keep that in mind. In terms of their portfolio coverage, both of them will have up to a 50% coverage when it comes to their options writing to generate premium. They can of course rate less depending on the situation, but you can expect at least half the portfolio to participate in the growth upside over time. Then to find the initial distributions for these, you will have to head over to see it in the prospectus. So for BCCC, the initial semi-monthly distribution amount is 14 cents, and if you annualize it by multiplying by 24, it'll come to $3.36. Based on a $20 initial inception price, that comes to an approximate 16.8% yield. With BCCL, the initial semi-monthly distribution amount is 17.5 cents, and if you annualize it by multiplying by 24, it'll come to $4.20. Based on a $20 initial inception price, that comes to an approximate 21% yield. Keep in mind, as mentioned earlier, these will likely fluctuate, so it can vary for each distribution. As for the management fees, it'll be 0.65 for BCCC and then 0.85 for BCCL. We won't get to know the MERs because these have just been released, and we'll have to wait until the ETFs reach 1 year in order to find out. Unfortunately, at the time of making this video, I haven't been able to find out the ex-dividend date or payment date for these, so I'll have to wait until they get announced. Now, for Harvest ETFs, they'll also be launching 2 Bitcoin ETFs as well, but with a different focus and different yields. These will be under the ticker symbols HBIX and HBTE. For the holdings, HBIX is the same as Global X, where they don't invest in Bitcoin directly and hold the same USD version of IBIT from iShares. With HBTE, it's actually a completely different focus, where rather than investing into Bitcoin, it holds the largest leaders that accumulate and store Bitcoin. Currently, there are 15 holdings, and from sectors ranging from Bitcoin, Bitcoin Treasury, digital assets and services, crypto trading or wallets, and crypto miners. For currency hedging, both of these are unhedged and will be tied to the performance of the US dollar. Then for the distribution frequency, these will be paying out distributions out monthly. When it comes to the cover call strategy, they will both have up to a 50% coverage of the portfolio when it comes to their options writing. Again, it can vary, and they can rate less depending on the situation, but you can expect at least half the portfolio to participate in the growth upside over time. And with all of Harvest's recent releases, they were also upfront with announcing the initial distributions and dates. For HBIX, it'll have a monthly distribution of 24 cents, and based on a $12 inception price, the yield will be approximately 24%. With HBTE, it'll have a monthly distribution of 33 cents, and based on a $12 inception price, the yield will be approximately 33%. The first ex-dividend date for them will be on May 30th, and the pay date being on June 9th. Both of these are also variable distributions, so you have to expect that fluctuations could happen on a month-to-month basis. As for the management fees, it'll be 0.65 for HBIX, and then 0.75 for HBTE. And again, we won't know the MERs until after the 1 year mark after these funds were released. So, how do these new ETFs fit into the overall landscape so far when it comes to Bitcoin ETFs in Canada? Like I mentioned in the intro, there's really only one cover call ETF from Purpose Investments where we could gain exposure and income from Bitcoin, and that was BTCY. It's also worth noting that it didn't have leverage, and was likely due to the regulations at the time. So what you're looking at here is a new dashboard series I started to build, and we'll be working on the next few weeks where I can find time. This is sectioned off based on the currency hedging of the ETFs, and then further divided into the different types of strategies. As you can see for the Canadian dollar hedge section, it's quite bare with only 2 ETFs. Then for the unhedged section, we have some more options, but there were definitely some opportunities on the right side for more cover call ETFs, and especially leveraged cover call ETFs. With these new launches, those spaces have now been filled in, and give us investors a full suite of ETFs and strategies now to choose from. One important thing to note here though is that these are not without risks, and due to the nature of Bitcoin and the industry as a whole, the risk ratings have been set to high. When considering to start position one of these, you should make sure that you are not over allocating or investing in an amount where you would be uncomfortable. They are all very volatile investments, and you should not invest in an amount where you would be stressed or worried if it does happen to drop significantly. I personally have just over 5% allocated for crypto, and could add more to average down if there's an opportunity. Another thing that I would like to point out that won't make much of an impact for regular day-to-day investors, but for myself and a small group of others who track their portfolios on Google Sheets will understand the difficulties of this. Unfortunately for our sake, all of these new Bitcoin ETFs that have launched will be listed on the CBOE exchange rather than the TSX. This was formerly called the NEO exchange until CBOE acquired it in 2022. As an exchange, CBOE has since made a reputation as the top exchange for crypto-focused ETFs by offering competitive fees, strong trading support, and an expertise in managing more complex products like these ETFs. So this is likely good for the funds and investors, but it's not so great for those of us who track performance on Google Sheets, because Google Finance does not provide data support with the CBOE exchange. So which of these new Bitcoin ETFs are you looking at adding to your portfolios? Hopefully this video has helped differentiate them for you and to understand the strategies and details a bit more clearly. If you enjoy this type of content and want to see more, feel free to like and subscribe to help out the channel. The goal for this year is 2,000 subscribers, and we've been making some good progress so far. You'll also want to follow for more details if you're interested in the dashboards that I've been building. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.